Today we're going to be talking about actually we're going to do a mail call where we take a look at some viewer emails and some viewer comments on the channel, and we will answer those and thank those people appropriately. And then we will be jumping into free energy. That subject has come up, especially around toroid power or toroid power. There's a toroidal power unit that one of our users has questioned, and I will jump into taking a look at that, as well as some of the other free energy sources that I know are out there and that I have studied, and we will see what we can come up with as far as maybe coming to some kind of type of consensus on free energy. So without further ado, let's jump in and thank some of the users for the things that they've sent in this week. First and foremost, the floating city that was sent in. That was so awesome. Thank you so much. It has not garnered as much interest as I thought that it would. However, I am honored that you sent it to us to break that open. And I think that the folks who have seen it have obviously all had very positive comments and very positive reviews of it. I just think that nowadays this is becoming so commonplace that people have become maybe indifferent to seeing things like this. Maybe we're so used to seeing Project Bluebeam or whatever this is at work that we're no longer surprised or shocked by this. We did get a good bit of views on this, but not nearly what I thought. I thought people would be like freaking out over this thing, but I guess I think there's already been 3 or 4 of these out there, so thank you again so much for sending this in. I really appreciate everything that you guys do, helping the channel, by supporting the channel, by sending stuff into us. This was huge for us to break this, and then, by spending your time watching the videos and by commenting and leaving a like and subscribing. Those are the biggest helps, the biggest things you can do to support the channel, and I certainly appreciate it. Thank you for sending this in. This was huge for us. The next thing was a lady who sent us in some pictures of 3 possible things in the sky. She took us a picture in she took these 3 pictures in South Africa at 10 a.m. Now, we don't have the exact location in South Africa, and we don't have the direction she was facing, etc., etc. But what we can do is we can look at these pictures and see if they are pictures of objects in the sky with the sun, and that we can definitely tell. We can adjust the gamma out, and we can see what's going on with these pictures. If the objects act just like the sun, then we'll know that this is an actual object in the sky, not a lens flare. So, to the lady who sent these, I thank you so much for sending those here. We truly, truly appreciate this. It is awesome that you sent this to us and not someone else. So let's take a look at these pictures. First, we're going to just open them up. And, okay, so we've got these 3 pictures. Now, first thing we want to do is adjust the gamma on these and see what we're looking for is, does the sun, which is clearly here, and this object here, that it looks like another object, sun-like object, do they act the same when we adjust the gamma out? So what should happen is all of these lens flares that you see here, these are all lens flares that we see around here, sundogs and lens flares. These things should go away, but this and this should act the same. If they do, then they are both hot objects and real objects in the sky. So let's dump the gamma down, and they act pretty much the same. You can still see, a matter of fact, with the sun gone, almost gone, you can still see this almost as a hotter object, which is kind of strange. Even at this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I can still see this object here. Now, let's adjust the gamma all the way out. Wow, look at that. The sun and the object, exactly the same. So that leads me to believe that this is an actual object in the sky, and it is not a lens flare. It's definitely not a lens flare. So let's look at next object and image. Let's take a look at this one. Again, this image is almost hotter than the sun, and it acts exactly the same as the sun. You can see everything else disappears, and you can see there's a lot of brightness still around this. Now we know the sun's going to have a lot of heat signature coming off of this, but when you take it all the way down to nothing, you get the sun and this object acting exactly the same. So these are not lens flares. These are actual images of something that was taken in the sky. Excellent pictures to this user who sent this in, and we'll do the same thing for this last one here. Let's adjust our gamma out. Oh yeah, definitely two images in the sky, two different items in the sky. And again, this one is brighter. It's almost hotter than the sun. I mean, it's very strange to see that. You can see it here fully, and the sun's pretty much washed out already, but this one is still like almost fully there. So that's very strange that that would act like that. I have never seen anything act like that before. Usually if it's there, if it's real, it acts exactly like the sun. If it's not real, when you adjust the gamma out, you'll only see the sun left, and then you'll know that you're dealing with a lens flare or something like that. But anyway, that's how you find, or that's how you start to prove or debunk images that you think may or may not be actually in the sky. So we've done that. We've checked out the gamma on those. We could do the same things with the levels, and I'm guessing that it will be the same. So I'm just going to jack down the levels to see what we got. Oh yeah, exactly the same. This object and the sun are both two objects that are in the sky. No doubt about it. And we'll just go do that on one more, just to make sure levels. Yep. Definitely two objects in the sky. So, would love to thank this user for her input. Thank you for sending these pictures in to us. These are definitely three objects that you've caught in the sky. Thank you so much for sending them. And the other user who sent us the flying city, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And this other user who was talking about torrid power, we had a conversation where he said, hey, thanks for the video. You also mentioned suggestions for future videos. He'd like to throw one out there. Could you do one on Stephen Marks and the supposed toroidal power unit? Appreciate it. Well, we went back and forth. We talked a little bit. Talked about magnet motors like the Perendev magnet motor and other free energy devices that are out there. Free energy is something that people have been seeking for years and years and years and years and years. And I'm not talking, you've never heard of the Baghdad battery? Look it up. It is a battery that was used thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Yes, a battery. And a battery in the same sense. It was used to store electricity. Well, how did they have electricity thousands of years ago if they didn't have, or how do they have batteries to hold electricity if we didn't know about electricity yet? You know, supposedly electricity was discovered and harnessed in the 1800s and whatnot, but that's just not the case. The case is that electricity has been used for a long time. Obviously, we have this Baghdad battery, and we also have the Archimedes sphere. Now, if you guys don't know who Archimedes was a very, very talented and smart inventor who back in the day invented very many things. He was a military leader, and you may have heard of the Archimedes death ray, where he focused all of these polished mirrors and took sunlight and focused it onto incoming ships in the harbor who were there to wage war against his country, and he was supposedly burned these ships up using harnessed sunlight and focusing it from all of these mirrors that he set up. So look up the Archimedes death ray. That will give you an idea of who Archimedes was and how awesome and a lot of the cool inventions that he came up with. Now, so let's take a look at the Archimedes sphere. So we're going to show you here the Archimedes sphere, and Archimedes came up with an over unity device. And we know that over unity means something that will continuously put out energy without putting any in. And once you see this device running, and as you can clearly see it running here, once it's started, it doesn't need anything else to run. It is over unity, and they can drain off any excess power to turn any type of generator that, if you know how electricity is made, it's a magnet spinning within coiled copper that creates electrical current, and that's how your car works. It has a generator, or they commonly call them an alternator now, but that's just because we use AC, alternating current. But your alternator or your generator is basically just a big magnet spinning within a coil of copper, and that creates electricity and recharges your battery, whatever, etc. The same thing happens for a nuclear power plant or a hydraulic power plant. Hydraulic uses the water that's going by to turn the wheel that turns the gears that turn the magnet inside of the coiled copper to make the electricity. A nuclear power plant uses steam, just like an old steam engine on a train. It just uses steam to, it focuses the steam to turn a turbine that turns the gear to turn the magnet inside of the rotor that creates the electricity. So all they're doing is any way you can turn a magnet inside of this copper, this nest of copper wires, will give you electricity. That's the end all be all. How you get that magnet spinning is up to you. You can use any movement like a river, anything that has constant movement will give you, you can harness to create energy from. Nowadays they're using even the waves as constant energy because the waves are always there, they're always going up and down, and you can use different little arms that float on the waves to produce energy. Just like the Archimedes sphere is constantly spinning, it can produce energy. Just like a river is constantly flowing, you used to see these old mills or mill houses right beside the river, and they would have a big water wheel on them. Turning that water wheel turns their rotor to create power. And it's no different with a nuclear power plant. They're just using nuclear rods put in water, and that water boils, creates steam. The steam is ported through tubes and pointed at a turbine, and the steam comes out with a lot of pressure, and it turns that turbine, and that turbine turns the magnet, which creates the electricity. So free energy has always been out there. Tesla came across free energy in the atmosphere, said there's more energy in the atmosphere than we could ever possibly use. We just need to tap into it. Of course, they squashed all of his writings and anything that had to do with that as soon as he died. They took all of his books out of schools, they took them out of the libraries, and they left us with the ones that we couldn't really discover or work on or continue his work on free energy with. There are some of his work is still out there, but the important stuff has all been hidden. Now, toroidal power, torids. What is a torid? A toroid or a torid is basically a donut, right? So it's a shape. Now we could go into sacred geometry of torids are part of sacred geometry. The Fibonacci sequence is a big part of sacred geometry. We could do a whole show on sacred geometry, and perhaps we will in the future. But for right now, I just want to address what this one user sent in and was asking about the toroidal power unit. I do believe that it is very possible that it works, because if you look at the video that I posted 2 days ago about the bloom box has no moving parts, and yet it produces electricity. It's made of a bunch of layers, almost like a heat sink, very, very thin layers of sand baked, and then they put this coating on one side, and that coating interacts with oxygen to produce electricity. They got a stack of about 100 of these layers, and it's a little box, not much bigger than, say, a couple wallets sitting on top of each other, maybe 3 wallets folded over sitting on top of each other, and this could power your house. They have the units that are about as big as a coffee table that could power a small neighborhood. So we know that you don't have to have movement in order to create energy. Now, technically you do, but the movement happens at a molecular level. So, the toroidal power unit is basically this. It's an iron ferrite center, and then they wrap copper around the toroidal iron ferrite ring, and then the copper that is wrapped around there has 2 leads that come off, a positive and a negative. Well, if you know anything about Earth and Earth's geomagnetic field, it is also a toroid, or a torid. If you looked at this from the top, it would look just like this, with the Earth in the center, and then the energy coming out and wrapping around, coming out and wrapping around. You go here, and the energy comes out and wraps around, comes out and wraps around. So we have energy that's coming out of the South Pole and flowing back up into the North Pole. And here we have the same thing, coming out of the South Pole, flowing back up into the North Pole. So we have toroidal power that is at work 24/7 in the Earth's magnetic field. So, could there be a toroidal power unit? Absolutely. I 100% believe that these things work. I'm going to show you a video here on how it works. I'm also going to show you a couple clips from the Perendev magnet motor and some other types of free energy that are out there and are working. And I would love to hear back from you guys and get your thoughts and opinions on what you think about free energy, and what types of free energy you think are most likely to lead us into the future. Which ones do you think have the most benefit, or which ones do you think are the ones that are most likely to work and produce free energy for us going forward? So, with that said, I would like to once again thank everybody for being so awesome. You guys are just great. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting on the videos. It's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous help with the channel. I truly enjoy my time with you guys. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more videos, opening a lot more subjects. We've had a lot of great discussions around the Mandela effect this week, which has been awesome. I'm looking forward to more discussions on those. And just wanted to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Please keep sending stuff to the email address. We will definitely look over everything that you guys send. If it has merit, we will discuss it here, or we will post it. And until next time, this has been Planet Nibiru.